Thank you very much. As the gentleman mentioned, my name is Brad Peters. I'm President and CEO of Pacific Empire Minerals. Pacific Empire Minerals, we're a prospect generator. We were private for 5 years, and in March of 2018, we went public. We trade on the Venture Exchange under the symbol PEMC, and are in the process of an OTC listing as well. So this is where we're going. This is our drill. This is the guys here about a month ago, and that's what I'm going to talk about. As a prospect generator, we're unique in the fact that our motto is always be drilling. By owning our own drill, we drill early and we drill often, and it's a blast. I'm going to be making some forward-looking statements, so of course undue reliance is a caution. I'm not going to get into the reasons why we like gold, but we love gold and copper together. Porphyry deposits with those two, we believe are really what I think we're looking for and what our clients are looking for in terms of being major mining companies. The case for gold, I'm not going to bother. There's plenty of people out there, but I think the case for copper is unique. For the 5 years that we were private and copper sort of was out of favor, I'll be honest. We were always bullish on copper because we were looking at the basically copper coming into the energy mix as a proxy for energy due to the increasing electrification that we see, whether it's electric vehicles in emerging markets. We see people with refrigerators, air conditioners, and of course the basic foundation for that, which is copper. It's the backbone. It's how you get everything there. With copper mines too, I think that 90% of the world's copper right now really comes out of 10% of the mines. And those mines are really reaching maturity right now. And we're not seeing new mines brought onto production to the extent that I think we're going to see, that I think the consensus now amongst analysts is that we're just not seeing it. We're not going to be able to meet the demand. So I think the future price for copper is going to be positive here. I think it's a little easier to predict copper than gold. But no, we're still certainly bullish on copper, and certainly I think that 2019 is going to be the turnaround year, and the next 5 to 10 years are going to be the golden age for copper. As we see copper really as the metal of the future. So what's important for investors? What sets us apart? I think most importantly, really what differentiates us, and I think what's exciting to investors is that, as I mentioned, we drill early, we drill often. We believe that really the drill bit is the only way to get anything done and to add value. We believe in discovery. And in order to make a discovery, you need to drill. But diamond drilling is not cheap. It's $40,000 a hole. And with 14 projects like we have, if we were to pop 10 holes in each project, we'd be broken a month. Quite simple. But what we did is we looked around, and of course Rick Rule is a early supporter and continued supporter of ours, and as one of his generators, the first and last question he asked me before he gave me the first check was, under what circumstances would you drill your own property? And the answer in 2013 was never, and he said, thank you, here's your check. I went back in 2017 and said, Rick, something's wrong with the prospect generator business model. We're not getting the terms, we don't have the leverage, and we're not maintaining an interest in our projects. Most of the generators anyway are struggling because we just can't advance them. You just can't put lipstick on these things in a concept and sell them anymore. The majors had told us point blank, we'll pay a premium for fresh copper and drilling. So we said, okay, you'll pay a premium. So what we did is we went around and looked around. Sean Ryan had been using a RAV drill in the Yukon. We kind of liked the setup, the idea, but we really wanted to focus on reverse circulation in British Columbia. So what we did is we looked around. Firstly, we found a driller, an experienced Australian driller, 33 years old, 18 years experience. Meshed him with the drill, customized the drill specifically for BC. But now we're able to drill rapidly, cost effectively, and with very low impact. That shot on the, I guess your left there, that's a month ago at our Copper King property. There's no mechanical disturbance there, and that's important for First Nations. When we do permitting, that's the first question they ask is, what's your water source? Well, we use air, we don't use water. Okay, that's good. Trails, pads, what kind of machinery you're bringing in? None. We've got ecologically sensitive rubber tracks, and so we come in, first pass, if there's nothing there, no harm, no foul, we're gone. They love it. It's been great for permitting and certainly with the community relations. Also of note for, I think, investors is that for a prospect generator is partner-funded drilling. We're running it right now over the last 5 years, about 10 to 1. So for every dollar we spend, partners have spent 10. Currently, we have partner-funded drilling ongoing. We optioned our Stars property in 2017 to a company, ML Gold. They started drilling in early 2018, hit some real flashy chalcopyrite, didn't know where to go, did some airborne, came back, more flashy chalcopyrite. Again, didn't really know where to go. Classic exploration story, they turned the drill to the west because they've been drilling north-south. And for the first time there, we had an intersection of, previous to that, actually, they drilled 205 meters at 0.45 copper, so really nice. But what they weren't drilling was a porphyry. Turned the drill to the west, and that was 405 meters at 0.26. And what is of note, which is critical to us, is that that intersection was in a porphyritic intrusion. And I can't overstate the importance when you're looking for a porphyry deposit. Just copper mineralization won't do it, veining won't do it. You need to find a porphyritic intrusion that is mineralized. That's why they call them porphyries. So we've had certainly success there. That's another partner-funded program we've had. We've had Oz Minerals, when we started out too, they drilled for 2 years with us and we had success on a project there. And then to date, we've been drilling since our IPO. 4 projects to date. We're currently on our Moffat, which is our 5th. We've had positive results so far on one of our projects out of the 4. We analyze with an XRF, so we know what's basically coming out of the ground. So if it's got copper, we think we send it to the lab for assays. So we'll see. We'll see what the assays say, but assays pending for our Copper King project. And as I mentioned, the boys are in the snow right now on the Moffat property. So that'll be our 5th. So 6 properties so far this year drilled. This is where we figure the prospect generator business model needed a tweak. We wanted to add value to the project and then add value to the deals we get. I'll get into why, but really, if you have leverage on the property through drilling, you have leverage on the deal with a major partner. Rory Ritchie and I were the founders of the company. I would draw your attention to our advisory board, Neil Adshead and Paul Johnson. Neil Adshead was Rick Rule's point man for quite a while. Neil is now our advisor, thanks Rick. And Paul Johnson was Teck's senior special projects geologist and their senior porphyry geologist for the Americas. Paul's come on with us since leaving Teck. Both of these gentlemen are absolutely invaluable. Share structure, just under 31 million shares out, 900,000 in cash and around 3 million market cap. I mentioned Rick Rule's a big supporter of ours, so Exploration Capital Partners, that's his fund. Plethora, Dutch, and management there. And for the IPO, Sprott Retail was about 40%. Prospect generator business model and our business mandate, really it's to maintain a maximum interest in the project so that we can monetize that. We're interested in a royalty, but we want more. As I mentioned, for every dollar we spend, our partners have spent 10. The key advantages is that we're able to basically cost effectively and rapidly drill, and with a low environmental impact. We think drilling is absolutely critical, as I mentioned. Why BC? Those are the reasons. Power, same reasons, all the majors are there. But what's interesting for us really is we get 30% back because we're not in the Golden Triangle. We're in central BC in areas that are flat, they've been logged. We have roads, you can build a mine, you can put a tailings pond wherever you want. That's critical to us. Another thing too that's interesting about BC, some BC copper gold deposits, is that they're really low in deleterious elements. The copper miners or producers are concentrate, not copper, and if they can have a low arsenic con, that's very valuable to the smelters because increasingly the cons around the world are becoming deleterious and they get penalized at the smelters. So if they can have a low con concentrate or a low deleterious element concentrate, it's very valuable. So that's our portfolio. That's where we are. As I mentioned, we're not in the Golden Triangle. We're basically in central British Columbia in areas that have been logged, that are flat, easy access, low cost to operate. But most importantly, you can build a mine in these areas we're in. I just did a trip up to visit the drill, looked at the boys at just north of Highland Valley, and it's clear when you drive past some of these big open pit copper mines. It takes you 15 minutes to drive past the tailings pond. 10 minutes to drive past the open pit itself. So you need space. You really do need a lot of space. And that's our drill rig. Those are the boys as we speak up there drilling away. And we look forward to continue drilling this year, and thank you for your time.
Are you permitted?
Oh. We have 11 permits, and we found that the permitting process since we've got the drill is slimmed right down. We've always been pretty good at it because we provide all the information they want. We're not vague in our permits, but we found with diamond drilling, for example, we would permit, we had a property, Pinnacle Reef, we permitted 6 holes on it, and the bond was $25,000 for 6 diamond holes. We just did this property, the Moffett property, permitted 25 holes. Our bond was $2,500. So literally $100 a hole, because there's no disturbance, there's no water, there's no mess. They love it.
So you're fully permitted?
Fully permitted for 11 projects out of 14 to drill.
If you're using RC drilling,
Mhm.
you've got no core,
That's right.
how do you know when you're in the core business?
Good question. I would say that we look at this is a business, not a science. So the first thing we look at is their copper. We have an XRF analyzer on site, so we know within 3 minutes how much copper is coming out of the hole. And you also, I think, my VP Rory is an incredibly bright geologist, and having Paul Johnston with us as well, they're able to look at the rock. If these guys can't tell if it's porphyry, I would have replaced them. It should be pretty simple.
Well, what does that mean, you're permitted for drilling? That means you're not permitted for mining?
Of course not. No, not permitted for mining. So what we generally do, what we found works really, there's a variety of permits you can get in BC. You can get a 1 year, which you got to do year to year. You can do a 2 year, multi-area based, which is what we do, and you can just tap onto them. Or you can do a 5 year exploration permit, and that requires all sorts of archaeological studies and all that sort of thing. So you're getting ahead of yourself. But in terms of mine permitting, to build a mine, that's an entirely different process. And I think the reason we're exploring in the areas we're exploring is very specifically because in addition to building a mine, you can permit a mine in these areas. We're not up in the mountains where if you put a tailings pond here and there's a breach, it goes down into a sacred river and all the salmon are affected. We're in areas that have been clear cut. If the tailings pond breaches, it's not going to breach, but if it does, it's just, there's nothing there, there's no harm, no foul, right? So the risk is very mitigated in the areas we're in. Thank you very much.